just saw Scott Snyder walk through. Got my Gimli ticket ready to go.
You wanna sugar in your tea? What's all this crazy question they're asking me? This is the craziest party that could ever be. Don't turn on the lights, cause I don't wanna see. Mama told me not to come. Mama told me not to come. That ain't the way to have fun, no. Open up the window, let some air into this room. I think I'm almost choking from the smell of stale perfume. And that cigarette you're smoking, I'll scare me half to death. Open up the window, sucker, let me catch my breath. Mama told me not to come. Mama told me not to come. That ain't the way to have fun, son. That ain't the way to have fun. She said, oh yeah. Someone's knocking at the door. I'm looking at my girlfriend, she passed out on the floor. I've seen so many things I ain't never seen before. Don't know what it is, I don't wanna see no more. Mama told me not to come. Mama told me not to come. She said that ain't the way to have fun, son. That ain't the way to have fun, no.
What's up, everybody? This is Batsman Fan, and this is my review of the Dallas Fan Expo. I went on April the 2nd, 2017, which was a Sunday, which from what I hear was the better of the 3 days to go. I heard Saturday was just a train wreck. But, hey, getting there was really easy. I took the train all the way to the convention center. That helped me stay out of the rain, and getting my wristband and special event ticket was super easy. So, we will move right along to the Gimli portion. So, the day that they opened up the event for Gimli at 10 a.m., I was on the internet buying my ticket. They sold two different packages. They sold a $100 package, and they also sold a $150 package. Both packages were the same in essence. Both packages included a signed, oversized lithograph. It also included a picture with Gimli and 3 signatures, also like a commemorative ticket, if you will. The $50 extra, though, was to get you the witness fees, if you will, for CGC CBCS. So I spent the $150, which the last time I checked, that is more than $100. So one would assume, and you know what happens when you assume, one would assume that if you spent the $150, $50 more than the $100, you would get to go in first. If you would have assumed that, you would be wrong. They let everyone in that had spent the $100 first. That's messed up. If I'm spending 50 more bucks, I would think that they would cater to that more than the 100, but I was wrong. Now, I don't blame any of the volunteers that were helping out. They're just doing what they're told to do. So, no harshness, no rudeness meant towards the people who volunteered to help in this event. But that's jacked up. So, 2 hours after 10 o'clock. Now, granted, 10 a.m. they gave that time to the people who only paid $100, and the people who paid $150 they gave them an 11:15 time. I finally got back to see Gimli at 12 o'clock. And for those of you that are keeping score at home, that is 2 hours after the con has started. Capullo and Snyder have already been signing at this point. They've already had a signing session that was capped by 9 o'clock or so. And we were told that we had to go immediately here to sit in Gimli's line. So it really just sort of screwed up the rest of the day. And I'll talk more about that here in a minute. But anyway, so I get in here to meet Gimli. And I'm sort of like Dr. Evil over here setting, like, throw me a frickin' bone here. So I'm just sitting there waiting patiently, being nice. The lady holding my camera phone or my phone, that's taking the picture. She's just sort of looking, and I'm like, hey, he'll get there when he gets there, I guess. So he finally stops down for a second, takes a great, smile picture. I'm sure he's an awesome guy. I just did not have a chance to say, hey, thank you for just being awesome, more or less. I don't try to take up a bunch of these guys' time. 10 seconds. Hey, thank you very much. You're awesome. I really enjoy your artwork. Have a great day. Pretty much that's the length of my conversation. The longest conversation I've ever had was probably with Burt Ward. But other than that, quick, thank you, boom, in, out, gone. There was not even an opportunity for that. So the next part of this cluster is the CGC part. From my understanding, CGC was majorly understaffed. It would have been awesome if right there in this little room, because we're away from everything, which I like that part. We were downstairs off in our own room for the signing event, which was the way to do it. CBCS, CGC both had representatives in there, and they had tables set up. We should have signed and done all of our paperwork right there. That would have sped up this process, but instead, they take us upstairs, over escalators, over the river, through the woods, to grandmother's house we go. We gotta get up there, wait in another line to get through the CGC stuff. It just cluster upon cluster is what starts happening at this point. But while I'm standing here killing time in line, time is ticking away. And the way that the con is set up, now Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo have done panels, and they're having to shut down signing. And if they've been available to sign, they're having to shut down again because now they've got another panel with Gimli. So my opportunities for signatures are disappearing rapidly. So let's look at the schedule right here. You've got Greg Capullo and Scott Snyder set up for 10:30 a.m. Why, as a con, would you set this up at 10:30 whenever you're directly competing with Jim Lee's signing packages that started at 10 and 11:15? I can't be in two places at one time. I wish I could, but I can't. So why would you put your people in the stress of trying to juggle somehow getting all these signatures from legendary Batman creators, writers, and artists? That is stupid. Why would you do that to us? So here I am. I've met Greg Capullo, super awesome guy, but I've never met Scott Snyder. I got numerous signatures of his, but I've never met him. And thank God I got to see him walking through. I got to see him walk right by me. That's my only saving grace, is that I got to see him. Because if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have been able to see him. What happens is that Capullo leaves after that session that y'all saw with Jim Lee, which is pretty much at the end of whenever I get done doing all my CGC grading and all that stuff. So I've missed it. I've missed the boat on Capullo. And Snyder ends up leaving early as well. He left around 4 o'clock. There was just no way for me to have met all three. by the way they set up the schedule, there was no way for me to have met all three. Just wasn't going to happen. I'm going to stop beating that dead horse because there were a lot of people upset. Just from walking and talking to people, a lot of people were upset with how everything was going. Oh, and I'll also say I heard horror stories from what happened on Saturday. Like, they oversold tickets or something like that, so you could barely move around. And I've been on Saturdays before. This is the first time I've ever went on a Sunday. But they oversold tickets. Like, there was like numerous fire marshals in there. I heard that it was shut down a couple of times, or like threatened to be shut down. Just a mess. So come on, man, y'all are better than this. You got to get it together. I've had great experiences at the Fan Expo before, but this one was just it lacked a lot. So, moving on to other news. Taking a break from the rant on another front. Thank goodness Capullo and Snyder are back. The book should hit sometime around August. There's going to be some prelude books during the summer months, early summer months, but they got Batman Metal come out. That was a special unveiling during this panel that they're reunited and it feels so good. And so I'm glad for that dynamic team to be back together. So, enough of duckies and bunnies and all sunshiny things. Let's go back to some good old-fashioned hate. So, CGC, like I said before, everyone was really nice there. Now, none of the people that I talked to were rude. I talked to Scott most of the time. Scott's one of the bosses whenever they come to Dallas. And I don't know, he may be a big boss. I'm not sure. All those guys really nice. But my signing and everything, I only got 4 books signed. 3 of those were Jim Lee. 1 was Art Adams. That took me from 10 a.m. until I was probably done and back, finished with paperwork around 2 o'clock, 2:30, maybe 3. It's shot at that point. It's done. My day is done because I had to wait. I had a downtime of somewhere around an hour or so waiting on a witness to come over and witness for me and someone else, Arthur Adams. Just, they did not have enough people. Very nice, very professional, not enough people. Second to last parting shot. I'm sitting there looking at the prices on these comic books. I'm like, hey, Buster, this is pretty crazy right here, man. I should take a ride right to your freaking jaw, man. This is ludicrous. Why would you charge $500 for the first appearance of Gambit? Why? He's cool and all, man. He's a raging Cajun and car-throwing son of a gun, but why? You're pretty funny. I should bust you right in your chops. The prices on books were redonkulous, man. Redonkulous. This was the look on my face when I found out is $195 for his signature. If he saw 1,000 people over the weekend, that is $200,000. $200,000 if he saw 1,000 people, and I don't think that's out of the realm of possibility. Jesus. I should have used a swatch to see if I could have gotten a better deal. And a special thank you to all my subscribers for telling me to stay away from spending $195 on that signature. Thank you all. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe. Do whatever you want to do. It's your life.